Welcome to the course of Unix and Shell Programming. Myself G. Prashanti, Assistant Professor, Department of Information Technology from Vignan's Lara Institute of Technology and Science. Okay. So, syllabus. So, Unit 1. So, in Unit 1 we are going to go through the introduction of Unix. So here we will be seeing the brief history of Unix, who has developed Unix, and what is Unix and how Unix acts as an operating system, what are the features of Unix, and similarly what are the different components of Unix. And after knowing all these things, we will be coming to start using the Unix by simple commands, by simple basic commands like cat, move, and copy, changing the directory. Like that, we will be starting the basic commands, starting the Unix with the basic commands. So all these things we will be seeing in the introduction. And after this, we will be going to Unit 2. So Unit 2 is about file system. Okay. So one important feature of Unix is that it has an extraordinary directory file system, so as to have easy maintenance and operation of the files for the user. So Unix provides an extraordinary directory file system. So here in this unit, we will be going to study what is a file, what is directory, how to give file names, and similarly how to give permissions to the files. So here files files are given permissions like read, write, execute. Okay. So depending upon the ownership, so different permissions can be given. So owners can have read, write, execute permissions. So whereas the other members group, they can be given only read, write permission. In that, so Unix provides us with the permissions in the sense who can access the files. Okay. So how to give that permissions, and what are the file attributes? File attributes means name of the file, what is the type of the file, what is the size of the file, okay, and what are the different types of files we are having, and some commands giving to the giving like ownership. Okay, so like ch own command to give the ownership permissions, group command to give group permissions, and you will be having the file command also for knowing what is the type of the file. Okay, so we are having the chmod command. So it is like for changing the permissions to a file. If we want to change some permissions to the file, so that can also be done by using the chmod command. So this is about the second unit, file system, where we will be studying about some basic things about files and directories, and similarly some commands related to the files. So next is your Unit 3, where in Unit 3 we are going to study about what is shell, okay, using of the shell. So here in this we will be studying about what are the different types of shell variables we are having. So how to define the variables, how to access the variables, and similarly command line structure, where we can give commands in line form, how to structure it. For example, if we are having like ls command, okay, so if we are having like ls command, so for example, command line structure, if we are having any ls command, then we can give options to that, ls minus l, like that. So by using the different options, we can create a line structure for the commands. So similarly, we are having meta characters. So meta characters are the special characters. So these are different from the normal characters. These are the special characters we are having in Unix. So they are used for grouping the files. Okay. So similarly, we are having command arguments and parameters. So from the command line prompt like ./a.out, we can pass parameters to the commands. Okay, so that we will be seeing. And similarly, one other important thing is that here in Unix, everything is treated as files. Okay, whatever your monitor, keyboard, all those are also considered as files. Okay, even devices. So even devices in Unix are treated as files. So here keyboard. So keyboard is considered as the standard input file, and monitor, it is considered as the standard output file. Okay, so in this way, whatever the devices we are having, so those devices, even printer is also considered as a file. Okay, so here whatever the devices we are having, those are all treated as files. So that is one of the important feature of Unix. Okay, so by treating these devices as files, we can perform IO direction. Okay, IO redirection, where we can change the direction of the input and output. Okay, we can make redirection so that we can move the input from input from the keyboard to other thing, to other file. In this way, we can give the input from any other file. Okay, so that is the redirection. So apart from the standard input, that is keyboard, and standard output monitor, we can redirect input and output to the other files also. Okay, so that is about redirection that we will be studying in this topic. And after that, we will be going to study about the looping in shell programs. That is your for loop, while loop. What are the syntax and semantics of that for loop, while loop? All that comes under the shell programs. Okay, so in this unit, we will be studying some meta characters. Meta characters are special characters in Unix that are used for grouping the files. Okay, so and similarly, you will be studying about the shell variables. What are the different types of variables we are having? Local variables, environment variables. Okay, so how to access those variables, how to define those variables, and next like IO redirection. So Unix has a special feature, like everything in Unix is treated as files. Even your devices like keyboard, monitor, all those are also considered as files. Okay, so your keyboard is said to be the standard input file, and monitor is said to be the standard output file. Okay, so apart from this, we can do the input and output redirection. Okay, so and then looping in shell programs, we will be saying about the different for loops, while loops, what are the syntaxes in shell, and what are its semantics in shell program. So that is about your unit 3. So when it comes to unit 4, so in unit 4 we are studying about the filters. Now what are filters? So filters are nothing but pattern matching. Okay, so here Unix provides us some commands by using which we can do the pattern matching. Okay, so the commands used here are the first most popular one is the grep family, GREP family. That is nothing but the global regular expression pattern. Global regular expression print. Okay, so the grep family is nothing but the global regular expression print. Okay, so by using this command, we can do the pattern matching. So whatever the input, okay, whatever the specific string we are giving as input to the command, okay, so that input, the command takes that input and it matches for the same pattern in that particular file. Okay, if any lines in the file have that pattern, then it will be displaying it. That means that it will be printing that lines. Okay, if you want to make a count also, you can make a count. In how many lines that particular pattern exists. Okay, so it can be giving the count also. So in that way, we will be using a grep family where you will be having egrep, fgrep and grep. So where these are used for matching some strings, pattern matching in the files. Okay, so similarly, we are having other filters also, like a stream editor. So this is also for pattern matching. So here also it provides some operations on files. So it also provides some operations on files for searching. So for searching for any particular pattern, or for like find and replace, you can find a particular pattern and replace with another pattern. And similarly, insertion and deletions. All that operations can be done by using this stream editor command. Okay, so another command that is available for pattern matching is AWK pattern. Okay, so what is AWK? AWK is nothing but it is the persons who have developed this command, so it is abbreviated by their names. So there are 3 persons, their name starts with A, W and K, so that is why it is given the name AWK. Okay, so it is also used for searching a particular pattern, whatever the specified pattern you will be giving. So it will be searching for that pattern, and then it will be performing some associated operation. Whatever the operation you have specified, that association operation will be done on that data. Okay, so that is the AWK patterns. So these are some of the commands that are provided by the Unix for pattern matching. Okay, called as the filters. So that is about your unit 4. So coming to your unit 5 is shell programming. So here shell programming, where you will be like going with the what are the shell variables, so how to access the variables, how to define the variables, and similarly you will be having a profile file. Okay, so where the profile file is nothing but the file that is at the starting file. It is the startup run. It is the starting program that will be running. Okay, so whatever the Unix user will be when the Unix user starts, it is the file that will be executed first. Okay, so here you will be studying what is the dot profile file. Okay, so and similarly and then you start writing your first shell script, since you have already known what are the different how to define variables, how to access the variables. So you can start with writing your first shell script. So and then we will be studying about the read command, where in the read command how to take the inputs. Okay, how to read the data from the keyboard. So that read command, so that read command is used for reading the data from the standard input, that is nothing but your keyboard. Okay, so that is read command, and we are having some positional parameters. So these positional parameters are used for passing the arguments to the script. Okay, you can pass some arguments to the script. So from where you want to pass, you will be passing from the command line prompt. Okay, that is nothing but the ./a.out. From the command line prompt you can pass parameters to the script. So for passing them you are having the positional parameters. Okay, so and similarly for exit status, if you want to know the exit status of the last executed command, so whatever the previous command that has been executed, so if you want to know what is the exit status, then you can use this variable. Okay, so if the previous command has failed, then it will be having 0. If the previous command has successfully completed, then it will be having an exit status of 1. Okay, so in that way, what is the exit status? So that if you want to know that, then you can use this variable. And then you will be studying about the branching control structures. Branching control structures are nothing but the if statements, if else statements. So what is the syntax and semantics in shell programming? So those statements, what are the syntax, semantics that you will be studying in branching control statements. So and next, same unit 5 and loop control structures. So where in loop control structures you will be studying what are for loop, while loop, and similarly how to write the continue and break statements. What are the syntaxes for continue, how to use that break statement, and some arithmetic operations. Okay, so how to perform arithmetic operations with integers, and similarly how to perform arithmetic operations on floating points. Okay, so what are the syntaxes for doing that, like addition, subtraction, division. So all that you will be studying here, and similarly some other commands like here command, sleep command, where sleep command to delay the for some time, to delay the execution of the command for some time, you can have the sleep command, and some other commands you will be going through this unit. Okay, so and then the last unit is your process. Okay, so where in process, what is the process? First you have to go what is the process. Okay, you have to go through the what is a process. So and then how to create the parent and child process. Okay, so by using we will be having a fork system call. So by using that fork system call, so you can create the child process. Okay, so how that fork system call works for creating the child process, what is the syntax for that fork system call, that you will be seeing here and that you will be learning here. And similarly, what are the different types of process we are having. We are having process like orphan process, we are having zombie process, different terminologies we are having for different process. So you will be coming to an understanding of what are the different types of process. And similarly, we can make process to run background, okay, and foreground also. If there is any command that is to be executed for a long time, so you can make that command background, okay, and in the foreground you can execute another command. So here it is a parallel execution. For example, if you want to give a print, okay, so if that print has been taking for 20 minutes, then you can make that print command background, okay. So and at the background the print will be executing, and in the foreground you can use some you can like do other things like changing the directory, creating the files, you can create new files, okay. So how to make the process foreground and background, that what are the commands for making them foreground and background, that you will be knowing here. And similarly, internal and external commands, there are some built-in commands in shell. So what are those built-in commands and what are the some external commands? And that similarly, process creation, how to create a process, and what is a trap command and a kill command. So if you want to terminate any process, if you want to exit any process, so there are some commands available. Okay, so like kill command to terminate a process, and similarly for job control also, that is making background and foreground execution. Okay, so that is about the process, where you will be studying how to create the child process and what are the different types of process we are having, how to make process to execute foreground, background, and similarly how to terminate a process, how to abort a process, and all that you will be studying in your unit. Okay, so that is about the syllabus, that is all you are going to study. And next, coming to the objectives of Unix. Okay, so what are the objectives of this course? So the objective of this course is that here it provides an introduction of Unix. Okay, Unix as an operating system. Here Unix is nothing but an operating system. So what are the features of Unix, and what are the features of Unix, and how Unix as an operating system does different things like multitasking, multi-user, different features, so that you will be getting an understanding. And about the file system also, I already said in files we can give permissions, we can change ownership, and all that things you can understand. That is the objective of your first and second unit also. Okay, and the second objective of this course is to gain understanding of some important aspects of the shells and process. Okay, so process like how to create a process, how to create child process, and how to make the process foreground and background process. Okay, how to kill a process, how to terminate, how to abort a process, all that you will be coming to know. And similarly some aspects about shells. What are the different commands, how to run a shell, what are the different commands for creating a file, so for creating a process. So all that things you will be getting an understanding by going through this course. Okay. So and the third objective is to develop how to formulate regular expression. Okay. So here you will be getting an understanding how to formulate for pattern matching by using the commands like grep command, stream editor commands, awk commands. By using these commands, how to perform pattern matching, that you will be getting an understanding. And similarly to provide a comprehensive introduction to shell program. So how to use for loops, how to use while loops, if statement, if else statement. By using these, how to use this statement in shell programming, that also you will be getting an understanding. Okay, so these are the some of the objectives of the course. So coming to the outcomes of this course. Okay, so what are the outcomes? So the outcome is that after studying the course, so you will be able to, or we can say the student will be able to discuss about the architecture. What is the architecture of the Unix? Okay, so like you will be able to explain what is shell, what is kernel, okay, what are utilities, and similarly some networking, what are the networking we are having, what are the networking facilities that are provided in Unix, and some basic commands in Unix like cat, whatever sleep command. So similar different like cat, date, some basic commands in Unix. So, and the second course outcome is that here the student can implement various file processing commands. So, like chmod for changing the operations to the file. So, how to change ownership to the file, how to create a file, how to run a file. So, how to give permissions to a file. So, all that implementation will be done by the student. Okay. And similarly, applying the regular expressions. Already we have explained about grep stream editors. So by using that, he will be able to do some pattern matching. Okay. So and fourth course outcome is to write some shell scripts. So already in some units we have given how to use the for loops, while loops in shell programming. So by using those constructs, he will be able to write simple applications in shell script. Okay. So and similarly, process management system already in process. We will be giving about the commands. We will be giving the knowledge about the commands, like how to use the fork system call, how to create a child process, how to manage the process, parent process and child process, how to make a process foreground and background. So by using that knowledge, the student will be able to do some process management by using the system calls. Okay. So those are the outcomes of the course. So coming to the syllabus of the syllabus. So coming to the textbooks. Okay. So here the textbooks that are referred by the JNTU are the Unix Programming Environment by Brain and Rob, and the second book is the Introduction to Unix Shell Programming by M.G. Venkatesh Murthy Pearson. Okay. And the reference books are Unix and Shell Programming by B.M. Harwani, Oxford University Press. Okay. These are the textbooks and reference books that you have to go through. Okay. So now coming to your Unix. So before going to the Unix, as we have said, Unix is an operating system. So before knowing that, we have to know what is operating system. Okay. So what is operating system? So an operating system is a system software. Operating system is a system software which acts as an interface between the user and the hardware. Okay. So it is a system software. It is a system software that acts as an interface. Interface means that operating system will be in middle between the user and the hardware. Okay. So here whatever the user wants to do, whatever the task that user wants to do, here the operating system will be doing it on behalf of the user. Okay. Suppose the user wants to open a file. Okay. So suppose some user X person wants to open a file. So what he will be doing? So he will be selecting the file and then he will be clicking on the open option. Okay. So that is the simple thing he will be doing. So if the user wants to open any file, so he will be selecting the file and he will be clicking on the open option, and then he will be simply sitting. Okay. So and waiting for the file to open. So there is nothing else to do by him. So here who is opening the file now? So since the user is simply selecting the open option, so now the file has to be opened. So now who is going to open the file? Now operating system is going to open the file. Okay. So here the operating system is making the task of the user easy. Okay. So here, so what the operating system will do is that, So operating system will search for the source code related to the open command. Okay, so source code related to the open command, and it opens that source code related to that file, and it will be giving it to the hardware. Okay, so the hardware, that is nothing but the CPU. Okay, the CPU will be executing that source code. Okay, the CPU will be executing the source code for the open command. Okay, so and it will be executing it, and it will be opening the file. Okay, so that is the thing that operating system will be doing. So here operating system will be making the user friendly environment. Here the main goal of the operating system is to make the user friendly environment. Okay, so here the user has to do nothing here. The user has to choose a file, and he has to click on the open option. Okay, so after that he has to wait. He will be simply waiting for the file to open. So now it comes to the role of the operating system. So what the operating system will be doing is that it will be searching for the source code related to the open system call. Okay, so it will be searching for that source code for the open, and after searching it, it will be transferring that source code to the CPU. The CPU will be executing it, and it will be opening the file. Okay, so and the user can since the file is open, the user can read it. Okay, so whatever the difficulties in searching the source code, all that is hidden. So all those complexity is hidden to the user, and is given a friendly environment to the user. Okay, so that is the interface. So here between user and CPU is the operating system. So in this class we have seen like what is the syllabus of the course, and what are the objectives, and what are the outcomes of the course, and similarly what are the textbooks that you have to refer while going through this course that we have seen, and similarly giving a simple introduction like what is an operating system. Okay, thank you.